All right, everybody, this is Nash here. Hope you all having a great day. Now, the Texas Longhorns will be facing off against the Kansas Jayhawks at 2:30 p.m. tomorrow inside DKR. It'll be on ABC. Now, today we got the statistical preview of the game. So, without further ado, let's just hop right on into it. If you like the video, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then comment down below. It'll help out. It helps out the channel a lot. But like I said, we got the statistical preview coming up right now. And we'll start off with the game info. Like I said, it's at 2:30 on ABC inside DKR. It's gonna be hot on the field, but not hot in the stands. 87 degrees. If it's in the 90s, it'll be low 90s. Let's go. Look, we're Texans here, okay? We can handle this. We're built for this. This is a cool fall breeze for us. The line is a 16.5 line for Texas, over under 61 points. So they're predicting a good amount of points scored, but a lot favorable for Texas. Now, we're going to be we're starting off with the Kansas overall, go to the Texas overall, and then go to rushing, passing, and go step by step. So let's just hop right on into it. And we got Kansas versus Texas. Kansas on the points. This is an efficient offense, okay? They're not super efficient, right? But this is going to be a good test for the Texas defense. Now, what Kansas is absolutely just superb in is 62.5% of the time they convert on third down. Number one in the country in third down conversion rate. That's going to be a huge test for this Texas defense, who has been forcing opponents off the field at a high rate. If you remember my video that I did where I compared 2005, 2009, and 2023 defenses, this Texas defense is certainly doing the job on third downs. 30.5% of the time forcing opponents off, or only allowing a first down 30.5% of the time. Points per play. This should really, offensively and defensively, so offensively for Kansas against Texas defense, this should be a really great matchup. This is top 25 across the board. Now, Texas versus Kansas. Texas, pretty, honestly, very similar to Kansas offensively when you look at the advanced statistics, but where it differs is Texas, the defense. Kansas defense is nowhere near the level that Texas has, and I think ultimately this is where you're going to see the biggest gap in the game. Now, yards per rush, Kansas, they're one of the best rushing offenses in the nation right now, averaging 5.2 yards per rush. But they're going up against a rush defense that's probably going to stymie them for the first time in all season. Texas is allowing 2.7 yards per rush. Really only one giant rush where that was that 62-yard rush that went for a touchdown. Outside of that, there's not much to write home about when you're taking the field against this Texas rush defense. Now, the Texas rush game, yards per rush, it could improve, and I honestly think it will be. We're looking to have Jonathan Brooks have his third 100-yard game. To have 3 100-yard games in a row, that's special. He's about to go on, and he's at a per rush basis, and then also even more, he's standing right next to what Bijan Robinson did last year. Kansas, they have a decent rush defense, but it's not to the level of Texas, and honestly, I think this is a good game for Jonathan Brooks. Hey, go out there, get a good test before we go into Oklahoma, and really keep building that confidence and get another 100-yard game. I think you will have that. Now, Kansas versus Texas passing. They don't pass the ball a lot. They're a very efficient offense when you talk about them taking their choices and choosing when to pass. Only 25 passes per game. That's 109th in the nation. 9.4 yards per pass. So when they're passing the ball, they're getting yardage on the pass. Almost a 75% completion percentage. That's a top 10 in the nation. Almost top 5. But pass play. 40% pass play. 122nd in the nation. Their rush play, 60%. That's 12th in the nation. This is a team that is not... So Texas is very balanced. Texas will almost pass the ball at the same exact amount of times that we run the ball. That's not the case versus Kansas. And ultimately, I think that's what this is another area that's going to do them in is when they're going up against this Texas rush defense that's going to force them out of the box, and it's going to force them into doing things that they don't normally do, like pass the football. It's going to make them uncomfortable. You're going to make them uncomfortable, and ultimately, I don't think Kansas is going to be able to keep up with that. So Texas pass defense. Look, it's not elite right now, but it's shown signs that it can be elite, and it is certainly a lot better than it was last year. We're getting the quarterback down. We're forcing interceptions. So far, every game we've had one interception. That's absolutely just tremendous. You want to force takeaways. And honestly, it's not something that you can keep expecting year and year, or game and game and game and game over. But the longer it keeps on going, I'm certainly not going to complain. Now, the Texas offense, I'm not going to mention the interceptions with that because, it's been mentioned enough. I honestly, I do think Quinn Ewers throws his first interception this week. Pass yards per game, and honestly, I'm superstitious, and it comes down to nothing other than the announcer's going to mention it 20 times. It's going to happen after that. It is what it is. Whoops. Now, something that this offensive line has done very well in is keeping the quarterback off the ground, and Quinn Ewers has only been brought to the ground 4.76% of the time. It's good, not great, but it's a trend in the right direction from previous years. Completion percentage, similar. It's ranked 47th, which is just what the quarterback sack percentage is. I think Quinn Ewers, if you watch my video recently where I talked about how Quinn Ewers, it's just two sides. There's two sides of the coin. You got Quinn Ewers at home, who's playing horrible, and you got Quinn Ewers on the road, who's just playing lights out. I think Quinn Ewers actually plays lights out for the first time at home, and the offense really just pops off. Yards per pass, we are very similar to Kansas. We're one of the best. We're one of the most efficient pass yards. 9.2 yards per pass. That's a very efficient passing offense, but I think it takes off just a little bit more when we play Kansas. Now, when you go the takeaways and giveaways per game, Kansas they're giving the ball away only once a game. That's 25th in the nation. They're taking the ball away 1.7 times a game. That's 45th in the nation. Texas, we're taking the ball away 1.8 times in a game, 1.8 times per game. We're giving the ball away 0.8 times per game. This is just as far as penalties go, and also I'll say this: penalties were a little bit better. Texas has, and this is one of the signs of a great coach team, is penalties per play, top 25. Penalties per game, 26, almost top 25. Penalty yards per game, number 17th in the nation. That's a sign of a good coach team, of a well-coached team. Now, Kansas, they're not necessarily, they're kind of lacking in that department in the 70 to 60 range. But as far as forcing turnovers and the ability to limit turnovers, Kansas has been doing their part as well. That mirrors Texas. So, ultimately, that is the overall statistics on each individual category. And then now I'm going to go over, and I'll go ahead and tell you what the predictions were. I made some predictions on the Orange Bloods live show that I do every 6:30 to 7:30. We did these on Thursday. I predicted Quinn's line is 20 for 28. That's a 71% day. 325 yards in the air, 3 touchdowns, like I said, his first interception. 35 yards. You got to remove the sacks. And then 1 touchdown on the ground. So, I got a 4 touchdown day for Quinn Ewers. Now, Jonathan Brooks, 20 carries, 145 yards, 1 touchdown on the ground, 35 receiving yards, 1 touchdown in the air. First touchdown scorer is going to be Xavier Worthy. And then I got the leading wide receiver. Is not a wide receiver. His name is Jatavian Sanders, tight end, 125 yards. The third, again, just like Jonathan Brooks, the third 100-yard day for Jatavian Sanders. Gets his first touchdown in DKR since first touchdown in the season since the Rice game. I know he had the touchdown versus Rice. Hold on. Don't get mad at me. I think the star players are going to be on offense, Jatavian Sanders, and then defense, Jalen Ford. I think Jalen Ford might get another interception. Jalen Ford is off to an incredible start right now. And then, like I said, Texas ends the home offensive woes. Texas wins 42 versus Kansas 17. Yeah, I'm liking that. So, we did this last week. Now, we were close. We were close. Hoping to be closer this week. Now, Jonathan Brooks, higher than 85 rushing yards. I'm going to be taking that. And real quick, before I go into the rest of these picks, use code Nash on your underdog first deposit, dollar for dollar match up to $100, starting at $10. Yeah, go have some fun. Make some of these picks just like me. Now, don't make a 5-pick line like me, okay? Because I'm telling you, I'd have made some money. If I were doing 2-3 picks at a time, I would be making money. And I'll go ahead and tell you some picks right now that I would absolutely love to make. I thought I made some different picks right here. Okay, hold on. First off, A.D. Mitchell should be on here. A.D. Mitchell, there's A.D. Mitchell touchdown and Jatavian Sanders touchdown. Yeah, I'm taking those. And hold on, what the heck? So I just realized that this slip completely missed some of the things that I wanted to pick. But we're going to go over and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to make another slip right after this. So Jonathan Brooks, higher than 88 rushing yards. I think he gets higher than 89. Yes, taking that. Jalen Daniels, like I mentioned. I actually did not mention what I was going to predict for his passing. Jalen Daniels' passing line, 20 for 34, 20 completions, 34 attempts, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 50 yards. Now, if you look at this, well, yeah, we're taking the higher on the 30.5 attempts. I got him throwing 34 attempts. Quinn Ewers, higher, 258.5 passing yards. Jatavian Sanders, higher, 47.5 passing yards. Burt Auburn, going to kick more than 4.5 field goals. 4.5, not field goals, extra points, because Texas is going to score 5 touchdowns on the day. Yeah, so that's my underdog slip line. That is my official prediction underdog slip line, and I'll be tracking that. I'll be, I'm going to be doing a whole thing at the end of the year where I show you all my underdog slip lines for the University of Texas games. But go on to Underdog, use code Nash. That is one of the best ways to support me. And as always, hope you all have a great day. Texas beats Kansas. Yeah. Hook 'em!